If you're watching this, then you know by now a huge problem is heading our way. An emergency meeting is being called at our usual place immediately. Free bagels.
In Moonfall, the moon threatens the Earth, which is like not ideal, right? But I imagine that going on a space mission with Patrick Wilson and John Bradley is not too bad.
No, that was not too bad. Those were two really good guys to hang out with, for sure.
That's crazy.
I heard that the actual cockpit that they use in this film is a real cockpit that you guys got from a space museum. Is that true?
That is true. Granted, we had no idea what we were doing when we were in there. We did have astronauts on hand that helped us, at least try to make it look like we knew what we were doing. No, it was quite a thrill, you know. I grew up in Florida, so I watched a lot of space shuttles take off in my youth. All of a sudden you're in one and you think, how did they, I still don't understand how this works. How are they flying this thing?
I know you like to take a lot of things from set in most of your movies. Please tell me that cockpit, that shuttle is in your garage?
It is. It's actually my son's gaming chair. So he's set his screens up where the glass is, and it's good. So he's now a full-time gamer.
Best dad ever.
Well, yeah, I do what I can.
We have to talk about Roland Emmerich's sets, and the special effects in this movie are absolutely insane. What is it like collaborating with a master of this genre?
He's got such a great eye for what he wants in his concept. And nothing is too big or overblown for him because he knows it's always rooted in some real human emotion. So I think the fact that he always has these little storylines between fathers and sons or family struggles, then he can make the most bizarre concept come real because it's rooted in reality. So it was a complete thrill to work with him on this one.
I wanted to kind of create a space adventure, but like also one which has a couple of surprises, and then you fly inside the moon, which is like kind of such a crazy thing to even think of. Then how does the moon look in the inside? You know, this was like kind of very thought through. I mean, they were like kind of, it was actually one of the first things what we kind of designed. You know, we had to figure out how is the moon, you know, like kind of even moving, you know, and doing all these things.
Are we dead? No, we are just inside the moon.
If it was left up to me to design the inside of the moon, I'd have a go, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as impressive as that. You know, he's destroyed the world before many times. He's never got to design of the moon, so it was a challenge for him, even after all these years of his own achievements. It was new territory for him as well. Casey was space fixated, never thought he'd ever get to go into space. I watched Independence Day with my dad on Christmas Eve when I was 10 years old. Never thought I'd be in a Roland Emmerich movie. So sometimes, you know, life exceeds any expectation you can have of it. And it's funny how those two parallels happened at the same time, but it was just a thrill to be involved in this every second along the way.
You all shot this at the height of the pandemic. Speaking of insane expeditions, I cannot imagine what that was like for you. Also, I couldn't help but watch this movie and think how relatable the plot was to everything that we are going through right now.
Yeah.
Did that speak to you as well?
The whole crew were covered in hazmat suits. They had shields on, double masks. There was no vaccine at this time. And it was very ironic that we were working on a disaster movie when we felt like we were living through a disaster of sorts, and never realizing that 2 years later, we'd still be living with this disaster. It was harrowing.
This is a yes or no question, and in the spirit of Moonfall, if it is a no, if you can answer astronaut, and if it is a yes, if you can answer astro yes. Knowing what you now know, Halle Berry, would you go to space?
Astronaut. They don't have a spa big enough in space for me to go.
Astronaut right now.
I like it. Congratulations, as always, you're phenomenal in this, and we at Regal love you to the moon and back. So thanks a lot for doing this.
Good to see you.